Hello, Scorpio. Welcome to Dove and Serpent Tarot. My name is Paul. If Scorpio is your sun, moon, or rising sign, this is your tarot card reading. Please hit the like button, leave a comment, consider subscribing to the channel, especially if this reading resonates with you. It is totally free. It doesn't cost you anything. If there's something you would like me to pray over or meditate upon or send positive energy toward, please let me know. Now, this is going to be a general reading, so try to be open and receptive to whatever may come through during our time together. I am merely the messenger, and I ask you to connect directly with each of these cards and use your own intuition to take you beyond the details that I might provide. And remember, Scorpio, that the most important part of any tarot reading is you. And Princess of Cups, one of my favorite cards of the tarot. This is, to me, the fish in the percolator. This is the uncanny. This is the novelty. This is us feeling as if our dreams are manifesting in the real world, like literally things that we dream about, then we're seeing the synchronicity out in the world around us, you know. I think that this card really isn't, it's a recommendation, let's say, to keep your eyes open, to be aware of your dreams, of what they are, and to notice how they are speaking to you throughout your waking life as well as your sleeping life, right? This card, first and foremost, says keep a dream journal, right? But let's see, let's put this into some context. Let's see how else we might be manifesting some of our dreams. Well, now we've got, this is the justice or adjustment card, right? So are we adjusting things? Are we adjusting expectations? Are we, we're realizing that the things that occur in our dreams are not always an exact match with what we witness. You dream about a lobster and then suddenly you see a lobster. Dreams speak in symbols, right? So we have to find a way to kind of like figure out what those symbols mean and discover that in our waking life. It's not always going to be a one-to-one match of the dream symbol and what we experience in our waking life. You know what I mean? We have to get to the deeper meaning behind things. You know, what does the lobster mean to you, right? Let's continue on. We've got a hanged man. We've got a color palette at least developing. And here, of course, is the art card. This is the painter. This is the chef. This is really like being in the laboratory doing the work, right? This is that studio. This is that laboratory. This is the kitchen. This is your art studio. This is your woodshed. If you are a drummer, you know what I mean. And we've got a 10 of swords, but we've got a knight of wands. Interesting. We've got a 7 of wands. We've got the sun card. We've got a nice Queen of Pentacles and an 8 of Pentacles. I think we're looking for confirmation on kind of what our plans are, what our dreams are for the future, right? I think that you've been in the woodshed, in the laboratory, in the kitchen for a long, long time. And I think that you have been feeling the heat, you know, and they say if you can't take the heat, get out of the kitchen, right? But you're kind of wondering, okay, when can I get out of the kitchen? When has the heat been enough? When is the steel strong enough that I need to take it out of the furnace, you know, and beat it up with a hammer and dip it in some cool water? The cool water is the part we really like, right, where it sizzles and it's steam and everything. And that's kind of what we're looking for in this hanged man energy. This is the heat of the foundry. This is inside the furnace, and we've got to then, you know, plunge it into the cool water in order to build something that is strong, build something that is lasting, right? Everything we kind of see over here is what we're building here. And I think we're just kind of looking for that confirmation from spirit, you know, from the universe that just says, hey, when is it time to now go to the other mode? Or when is it time to get out of the big, deep challenge, right? Get out of like this kind of, get out of the furnace, right? Get out of the struggle part of it and get into the other side of things, right? The enjoyment side. You've done all the work. When's it time to collect the paycheck, you know? And with this kind of work, we got to be careful with that 10 of swords up top. Because if you don't know what you're doing forging this sword, and I say the sword specifically emphasizing that because of the adjustment card. Because they are holding that sword of judgment, that sword of law and order, that sword of discernment. Okay? And so this really is now us trying to get that clarity, get that realization. I think we should select the mystery card now, because I would like it to be the Ace of Swords, but you never know with these cards. This is a random card from the Smith-Waite Tarot. This is the factor Infinite and Unknown. We're going to put a Robo-Duck right there on top of that card. I'm not too sure how I feel about Robo-Duck, to be honest with you. I don't know that they really fit into the channel. Let me know what you think in the comments. But the card's going to give us the confirmation, right? And if at any point during the program you feel like you know what that card might be, put your answer, put your prediction down in the comments below. I think we should do it together. It's good for our discernment. It's good for our intuition. We got to practice these things, you know? Let's practice noticing the symbols in our waking life. Let's go back to the Princess of Cups here. We have to look for the fish in the percolator. We have to realize that the things that we immerse ourselves in are the things that are going to show up in our lives, right? Show up in our dreams. We're going to get confirmations of those. Let's say, well, at least in my case, let me give you an example. There was a period of time in my life where I was doing a ton of plant alchemy, right? Every day I was spending hours in my laboratory, doing distillations and, macerating plants and calcinations and doing all these different kinds of techniques and procedures to make, planetary plant tinctures, okay? For aromatherapy stuff, of course, And I was spending so much of my time doing that, that at night I would be dreaming of, beakers and round bottom boiling flasks and, condensers and all these different things. And, I had a lot of very important dreams during that period of time. So sometimes what we immerse ourselves in externally is going to seep into our dreams and teach us a lot of things during those dreams. That's at the beginning. Write down your dreams. Whatever you're involved with now in your life, I think you're dreaming about it. And maybe you don't realize you're dreaming about it, or maybe it's appearing as different kinds of symbols. Maybe you're dreaming of the lobster. Well, what the heck does that have to do with, this music that I'm trying to make, or this job I'm trying to get, or whatever? The more you write down these symbols and perhaps meditate upon them, don't try to figure them out rationally, because I think that's part of that 10 of Swords up there. We don't want to really do that, but we do want to write everything down, and see if any meanings kind of emerge as we go through our life. Now, other times, your dreams will be of such a nature that it is starting to seep out into your waking life, which is kind of the reverse of what we're talking about. And I don't know which of these positions you're in, but I know that we are waiting for a confirmation. We're waiting for a synchronicity between our inner life and our external life. Either a confirmation from Spirit in the external world, that it's time for you to make this change in your path. It's time to go from perhaps the furnace to the cooling bucket of water. Or you're waiting for a confirmation through a dream that basically gives you the same thing, right? It just depends on which way the information is flowing, but it's the same information, essentially. Yeah. But the fish in the percolator, right? We have to notice these things. We have to appreciate them for what they are. We don't really want to ruin the moment by overanalyzing it or intellectualizing it, though. It's a symbol, it's a dream, it's a synchronicity, it's a novelty, it's something uncanny and absurd, like a fish in your coffee cup or something, right? Like a fly in the soup. Let's not try to figure it out and take it apart and dissect it and analyze it. Let's just be open to receive. What is your message, little fish? And I think that's kind of what we're looking for in life right now, is that kind of a confirmation. is something that's going to speak to us to give us the certainty about what our fiery next move is going to be, because you're ready. You're ready to get a move on. The Knight of, here, the cat's here. The Knight of Wands is very, very eager to get moving. Okay, and this is kind of, again, with the Knight of Wands, we have to do with the horse and the rider, right? It's fire and fire, so there's those two elements that are the same. So it's kind of when our inner life and our outer life are together as one, right? Are in sync, are in harmony. It's like the horse and the rider are one unit of energy flowing through the universe. And this is what we need. My cat agrees with me. She's a Sphinx cat, so she's very intuitive. When we have that kind of a harmony and synchronicity between the inner world and the outer world, it gives us this almost superhuman strength to push forward, right? It gives us motivation. It gives us strength, power, And I think this is your next move, okay? And I feel like this is kind of you going from what is this difficult period now. We're kind of in the furnace, but we want to plunge into that cool water. We want to take this kind of to the next level, but we know that if we do it out of order, if we pull it out at the wrong time, we leave it in too long to either one of these positions, the sword is going to be brittle and broken, and it's not going to work, right? I'm not a blacksmith by any means, but it seems to me like it's kind of easy to mess it up. It seems like hard work. And whatever you're doing now is hard work, and it's easy to mess it up, I'm very sure. So we're trying to get that timing right of when to do the next thing, or when to switch gears from this. Okay, now it's time. Let's put this over here, or whatever it is. Right? Could be a business, a relationship, could be a family thing. All of the above. I don't care how old you are. Maybe you're retired. You have a purpose. I don't care. 0 to 1,000 years old. You've got a purpose. Okay? And I'm not going to try to detail that purpose, but I feel like this is the energy that's surrounding that purpose now. And we're trying not to mess it up. So we're looking for that confirmation. It's a critical confirmation. And I think you are getting it, especially when we look at the path of the serpent here. So the justice or adjustment energy right here, we're trying to figure out how to assess or how to judge these synchronicities and determine whether it's not just like confirmation bias, or whether it's just wishful thinking, or the old Robert Anton Wilson trick where you think about a quarter so often, eventually you're going to see one on the ground and you're going to think that you manifested it, right? Oh, there's the quarter I was willing into existence. Sometimes we focus so much on things that's all we're able to see. We create grooves in our psyche, right, that are very receptive to channeling that same energy. So you're thinking of the quarter nonstop for days and days and days, and then you start seeing quarters everywhere. So I think the Justice card is asking us to adjust our expectations and to also be rational about things, to use our higher mind, and not be so gullible with ourselves, not try to fool ourselves, but be honest and be intelligent about what you're experiencing and the signs that you're receiving from the universe. Now, the Hanged Man is an interesting card because it kind of is this voluntary suffering, right? It's kind of like Odin hanging from the tree, like waiting to receive the wisdom of the universe, and it says, I'm not leaving until I get what I want, this kind of attitude. These two together, the Adjustment card and the Hanged Man, this is where we try to translate the symbols. A lobster in your dream does not have to equal a lobster, out in your waking life. Okay? There's something about this situation or about your energy that is like a lobster, for just as an example. Maybe I'm hungry, I don't know. Actually, I do know, and I am hungry. But it's not going to be the same symbol, necessarily. It might be. Right? It might be, but we have to look beyond the surface level, and that's part of the Hanged Man energy too, looking beyond the surface of things, going deeper, diving down underneath, very on a surface level. What's the surface of the water? Very reflective, right? See a lobster up there, you're going to see a lobster down there. Oh, there's clouds up there, there's clouds down there too. How weird, right? It's just a reflection. And that's still meaningful too, but we have to dive deeper. Okay, what does that cloud mean? What does that lobster mean? What is the symbol trying to tell me? Okay. And once we get a little bit deeper in that aspect, then the symbols don't have to match up necessarily, right? The lobster could represent an entire situation for which there is no particular symbol except maybe that lobster, right? So you see a lobster in a restaurant, it's not necessarily saying something about that situation, but you dream of a lobster. And maybe that is saying something about that situation, right? And, that's something that we need to be aware of, at least. And it's going to help when we start writing things down, writing down our dreams if we aren't already. All right. Let's go to the path of the serpent, because this is where things really start to get good. The Seven of Wands. It's kind of, we've been in this position now, especially with the Art or Temperance card. You've been here for a while. And I think that you have, as the Hanged Man would suggest, you have been suffering for your art, right? This is art, and this is kind of that voluntary suffering. You've been suffering for your work. You've been putting in a lot of time. You've been sacrificing a lot of yourself for this project, for this work, for this family, for this purpose that you have, okay? You are confident that you will succeed. But we need a sign, we need the guidance, we need something that says, okay, it's time, you can breathe now, right? You can come down, you can come out of there, and you can breathe for a while, right? So this is confidence, but it's not infinite confidence, right? This is us pushing against something that is a lot stronger than us, and sometimes it feels like it is us against the world. And eventually our arms will get tired. Okay. But we're not giving up. And this is literally pushing for something, working towards something, fighting for something until you just cannot push any further. It's not a matter of willpower. It's just the simple fact that your muscles don't have any, ATP left in them. And they're just done, right? And there's nothing you can do about that except for rest. It's kind of a forced break. It's a forced kind of recuperation, So we don't really want to get to that point, okay? So we have to look for the signs and symbols, the synchronicities, the confirmations for the future, right? And I think that you are getting, and especially with the Sun card here, I feel like this is a crucial, critical confirmation. Because this is the enlightenment. This is now your ability to see not only what the next step is, if we're transitioning into a different phase of things, or what the next move should be, because there is a next move, and you want to be absolutely sure before you make it. I think that this sun is really giving you the light of day. It's illuminating the path, before this, in front of this Knight of Wands. You think of the Knight of Wands, fire on fire, right? That's pretty bright. This is a candle, this is the sun, right? So there's a difference of degree here. And this might be one of those cards that say, I'm just concentrating on what I can do within this 3-foot radius. I'm carrying this torch, but I can only see what's right in front of me here. That's kind of a dangerous way to ride a horse, don't you think? Where we can't really see into the distance so well. If you only see 3 feet in front of you, there's no way to react to anything. Okay, and that's kind of the shadow side of this card a little bit, is that it's so impulsive and it's kind of short-sighted, right? So you're choosing not to activate this card until it's daytime, until you can see more of what's going on, till we get that confirmation, which is this sun. The sun is illuminating the future here for you. At least it feels like it really is all around, every direction, right? But this is at least illuminating the sequence of this path. What's right in front of you this way, Okay? And what I feel this card's also doing, because this is the card in the position of the environment, right? And these two are intimately connected. What's underneath the surface and what's outside the surface. Let's say this is your environment. This is what's around you. This is what's within you. Okay? Triumph, reward, rebirth, success, health and wealth, and strength and joy and peace. I mean, this is a big transition here. So this is a confirmation that all this suffering is going to result in your grand rising, a really, really big success for you. This is the confirmation that not only are you on the right path, but you know the steps forward on this path, and we have those next here with the earth energy, especially the Queen of Pentacles. The Queen of Pentacles is appreciating. It's kind of like when the future is like guaranteed, when you see everything that's going to happen in your life, and we're not worried about it anymore, right? We see it. We got the confirmation, blessings, right? And now gives us a moment to kind of reflect on the past, you know? And I think that reflecting on the past is a luxury that not all of us have. Most of us, it feels like, at least people in my life, are so very much concerned on what's happening right now and what's going to happen tomorrow. Just got to get the bills paid, right? Just got to make sure the kid gets where she needs to go. Not really a lot of time to just reflect on the past and to muse and to ponder about our lives and our experiences, right? I think that's why it's so important to journal. Because if we don't have that time to reflect and ponder now, let's at least write down a quick outline of what the day was like or what our feelings were. We don't have to write pages upon pages of essays every day, because then we might as well just be kind of pondering the past, right? So in that sense, I'm kind of a big fan of the bullet journaling. Not fully. I'm not endorsing bullet journaling by any means. Especially, I used to try it. I'd watch YouTube videos about bullet journaling. And it seemed so cool, but so tedious. All the markers and pens that you need. You're writing spreads. And I used to try it. I used to get my ruler, and I used to take a journal, a blank, just lined paper, and I would draw the boxes, and I'd make sure I'd measure every line, right? Everything was in proportion, and it was just, I'd draw everything perfectly, and I'd do it in pencil first, then I'd go over it in pen with the straight edge, and it was just nice, and there was just so much to it. And so now I'm thinking, I'm done with that. What I'm endorsing now is journaling by shorthand, right? You already have your own set of symbols, so why not journal by shorthand? Some of us know shorthand, maybe. I don't even know how it works. I don't think I could ever learn shorthand. But journaling for the everyday person, right? Journaling for those of us that don't have a lot of time to sit there and write beautiful handwriting, pages upon pages of essays, right? And I know I'm going off on a tangent, but that's okay. I'm all for writing down, just jotting down little notes, grocery store, headache, had fun, went to the lake, had this vision of something, just quick notes. Actually, I'm left-handed, so it'd be over here. Do it in such a way where it doesn't take up a lot of your time, because that's most of our excuses. I don't have the time to do that. Well, if we do it quick, just jot stuff down. It doesn't have to be neat. It doesn't have to be tidy. Just make sure the date's on there somewhere. Today I had a bad stomach. Today I saw a lobster. Whatever. And then maybe at some point we can go back in and fill in other details as we remember them. But if we put those keys down, those main ideas, then it kind of links it with our memory, and we can go back and flesh it out a little bit. Oh yeah, I remember that lobster. It was at that restaurant in that tank. I felt bad for it. We left the restaurant. Actually, I took my family to a restaurant a couple weeks ago, and they had the lobsters in the tank, which really breaks my heart because I'm a water sign person, as you are, Scorpio, and so I have a soft spot for the aquatic life, and my daughter got to hold one of the lobsters, and she really thought that was neat, and she was really brave, and she held it like this, and she kind of tickled its belly and stuff like that, and the tail was going, and then she asked, why is it in the tank? Why isn't it in the ocean? And I felt so bad trying to figure out, how to say, well, some people eat those things and they keep them in the tanks until somebody's ready to eat them, and it's horrible. I try not to tell her it's horrible. I want her to just have her own opinions, but I don't want to lie to her, I want to tell her what they're there for. People are going to eventually eat them. I'm sorry if this is upsetting anybody. I should get off the subject. But anyway, I don't even remember where I was going with that. The Princess of Cups that we have here. This is your ability to write down those symbols. We're doing that with our dreams, right? We don't have to write down essays upon essays of our dreams. Let's just write down those main symbols so that we know them. But I think what this card is really saying is that sometime we will have an opportunity to reflect, to muse about the past, and to ponder our life, ponder our own history. And it'll be good if we have a little bit of a record to kind of help us with that, So even a really short, messy journal, better than nothing. Anything is better than nothing, okay? And this is that card of going back over the past, appreciating what we're learning from the past. How can we continue moving into the future if we don't even remember where we've been, if we don't spend any time assimilating that, processing? It's all happening under the surface. It's all happening subconsciously. Well, I want the conscious experience of that. So we have the Queen of Pentacles, but this is in the position of the difficulty. Yeah, it's difficult. Most of us don't have that kind of time. Well, we make that time here and there as we can, short, quick, journaling, that sort of thing. But at the same time, we don't want to get stuck in this. Because you are kind of on top of the world at this point, and now you have time and success, the future is now has a bit of certainty to it. Now you've got time to sit in your favorite chair and think about days gone by and appreciate the past and learn from your past and assimilate the lessons of the past. But we don't want to get stuck there. Okay? We don't want to get stuck there, and I think that's important to remember. That we do want to keep pushing forward. There is the Eight of Pentacles. The Eight of Pentacles is careful but deliberate forward motion. Now we see the sun. Now the sun has risen, and we can see everything that this project, this situation, this purpose needs. So we know step by step. Now there's no worry. Now there's no rushing around. A little bit of water, a little bit of sunlight, some soil, and it's going to do fine. There's no rushing. There's no chaos, because we've seen what it will be. We see what we need to do. And then we do it, and then we're at peace, right? We're calm. We have time to sit in our chair with our sweet tea and think about, what our life has been like and think about all this work that we've put in. And then we can start pondering our dreams, right? And having these other deeper kind of experiences with things, and just getting in touch with how we feel now, because you look around the room, what else is missing here? Let me put it like that. What else is missing here? The cups. There's not a single cup in the room, except, of course, for the Princess of Cups. But I think the Princess of Cups is bringing the cups with them, right? Bringing that water energy in. So I think we should look at the mystery card. And this is either going to be the confirmation that we need, right? Like I say, this is the confirmation we need at the end of the reading. Which it will be, but will that be in the form of literally like, a green light? Maybe it'll be the Sun card again. Maybe it'll be the Wheel of Fortune. Or will it be some water energy? Will it be a 6 of Cups, a 9, a 10 of Cups? If you have a prediction, I want you to put it down in the comments. Okay? Let's see what we've got. Oh, 5 of Swords. Interesting. 5 of Swords. Well, it's better than the 10, right? Better than the 10. I think this is really showing us the immediate need for the confirmation, right? That I think we are kind of getting a little bit, not confused, but we're feeling a little bit defeated by by what we're experiencing now. And it really could be that there's just a lot of this. It could be that you're in the fire, they take you out of the fire, you get beat up a little bit, you get put back in the fire. And we're just kind of wondering, okay, is this really the game? Is this really what I'm supposed to be doing, Spirit? So the Five of Swords is a little bit of confusion, a little bit of this feeling defeated, feeling like we're just getting knocked around. But for what? Like, why? You know? And I think we're getting the clarity. I think this is the confirmation that we need. And I think this is critical for you. Because if you're in this state now, we've got to start paying attention to our dreams. I think this Sun card is that confirmation. Okay? And it's in the position of the environment. So you're going to have to really look for those synchronicities. But this is, I think, your headspace right now. Okay? A little bit of this competition. A little bit of this. We're starting to get a little defensive. We're starting to feel like we're getting pushed around a little bit by the universe, right, in life, and we're starting to say, wait a minute. Why am I doing this? Why am I going from furnace to this bucket of water? You know, why am I in this process here? So a little bit of why going on with this card. And a little bit of what, too, I think. But we're getting our confirmation. I think that's really, really excellent news. Now, we're going to do an extended reading. If you want to stick around for the extended, there's a link up top. There's a link down below. New readings for Scorpio every Wednesday and Saturday, 6 a.m. Chicago time. I am here every day. Come back, see me again tomorrow. I don't know if I've told you yet, Scorpio, but I've quit my day job. Right, I've got another week or so left, but then I'm done. I've been with that company 15 years, devoting all my time here to YouTube. My wife and I both have our channels. She does tea leaf readings. Her channel is Ula Tea Leaf Readings. That's ULA Tea Leaf Readings. I've got this channel. I've got Dove and Serpent bedtime stories, which I'm going to try to upload. Just some readings of some books and stories, fairy tales, and maybe some sci-fi books and things like that. So anyway, we're putting all of our time into this, and I hope that it really, I hope that we're able to get some more content that you all can enjoy, and we appreciate you all being here. Leave a comment for me. Let me know where in the world you're watching from. All right. I want you to know that you are the most important part of Dove and Serpent Tarot. I thank you, and I love you. And we're all in this together.